Noor Bihari Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashata Rashata Shmar Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuddhara Shuddha Shishmar Bhakti Vigyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shuddhara Shuddha Shishmar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Shuddha Goksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Shuddha Satchiranda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Shuddha Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Patadas Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nam Acharya Shri Das Thakur ki jai. Prem se ko Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Chitta Mandal, Gora Mandal, Vraja Mandal, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bharata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kund, Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi, Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Srila Bhakti Shrirup Sadanti Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai. Right? It's today, I'm pretty sure. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shinitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hari Bo, Raseshwari Mataji and Indira Mataji and Dandavat Pranams and Rup Manjari Didi. Yay, you're finally caught up. That's great. Okay, awesome. Dandavat Pranams, Rup Manjari Didi. So now, and Bhavatarani Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, Hari Bo. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tarbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yang Pravrajantamanupeta Krityang Dvaipayano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravo Bhinedustang Sarvabhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritya Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Shrinvatang Swakatha Krishna Punyashavana Kirtana Hridantasto Hyabadrane Vidhunoti Surit Satam Nashta Prayeshvabhadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya radhe tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat pranams Cakravartī ji and Madhavi Didi. Hari Bol. It's Friday today. Oh. Okay, so Damadash. What am I doing? Okay. So let's look at the previous verses that we went over yesterday. Verse 17, right? Yeah. Let's start from the beginning of Parikshit Maharaj's questions. Okay. Shri Parikshit Maharaj asked, O great sage, the Vraj Ramanis knew Shri Krishna only as their beloved. They never saw him as the Supreme Spirit. As their hearts were ever attached to Shri Krishna's qualities, how are they able to become detached from the influence of the three modes of material nature? And then Shukadeva Gosvāmī said, O Parikshit, I have already explained this topic to you in the 7th canto. Shishupal attains liberation, the topmost goal, even though he was an envious of Hrishikesh Shri Krishna. So what to speak of the Gopīs, who knew Bhagavan Adhokshaj as their beloved? Did I skip something? Wait, let me see if I can do it like this. I can. Okay, that's fine. O King, though Bhagavan Shri Krishna is unlimited, immeasurable, and untouched by the modes of nature, because he is their controller, he personally appears out of his own sweet will for the supreme welfare of the living entities. Therefore, one who constantly thinks of Sri Hari in a mood of lust, anger, fear, affection, oneness, or friendship will become completely absorbed in him, and due to this absorption, will eventually attain him. Now listen to what happened on the other hand. Seeing those Vraj Sundaris in front of him, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the crown jewel of expert speakers, bewildered them with his witty, charming words. Krishna said, Greetings, O supremely fortunate Gopīs. Was your journey here trouble-free? What can I do for you? Is everyone all right in Vraj? Now please tell me the reason for your coming here. O slender-waisted ladies, this is a frightful night, and there are terrifying animals roaming about in this forest. So all of you should immediately return to Vraj. It is not advisable for tender maidens to linger in the deep dark forest, especially at night. Not seeing you at home. Oh wait, this is where we read up to, right? I think we read up to 19. 20 to 23. Okay. Hari Bol, Prajumna Prabhu, and Mantra Murti Mataji, and Champak Didi. Mata pitara putra bhratara patayashchava vichinvanti yapashyanto madkridvam bandhusadvasam. Not seeing you at home, your mothers, fathers, husbands, sons, and brothers must surely be searching for you. Therefore, please do not cause distress for your friends and relatives, and for me as well. Śrīla Swāmīpad's Bhavarta Dipika. And also see that you're causing unnecessary distress for your mothers, fathers, and other family members who are concerned about your welfare. They certainly must be looking for you in all four directions. Srila Jīva Gosvāmīpad's Vaishnav Toshani. O best of men, you are so strong, and we are with you. So why should we fear anyone? Sri Krishna presumed that the gopis must be thinking like this. Therefore, he spoke this verse beginning with Matara. When your mothers, fathers, brothers, and husbands do not see you at home, they will be searching for you everywhere. Here he mentioned parents and brothers, pointing to the unmarried girls. And for the married ladies, he indicated husbands and sons. But it will be established later that this was imaginary, meant only as a joke. Cha, and, means all of your family members, and he means certainly. If by chance any one of your mothers, fathers, or other family members might come here and see you with me, not only you, but I also would be scared and ashamed. So this is the meaning. So do not linger here any longer and cause distress for your relatives or yourselves. The gopis might reply, O knower of powerful mantras, they will not venture into this remote forest, and even if they come, they will not be able to see us. To this, Krishna would respond, when your family members do not see you at home, they will think that something bad has happened to you, and fear will arise in their hearts. Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.6 declares that saintly persons are affectionate to their well-wishers. According to this logic, you should return and thus show affection to your family members. This is the intention. Verses 19 and 20 can both be explained as follows. The gopis might say, Hey Suvrata, O highly virtuous one, we do not fear anyone because we are here with you. Think that the gopis would speak in this way. Krishna pretended to close his eyes and said, Nehasteyam stribhi. It is not proper for ladies to stay here with me because I am a brahmachari. From childhood, I'm a brahmachari, and I always stay far away from ladies. The gopis might retort, Alas, how astonishing! There is no fault in staying with little girls and old ladies. To this, Krishna would reply, All of you have just now stepped in fresh adolescence. With this intention, he said, O Sumadhyama, O slender-waisted ones, you are supremely beautiful young maidens, and if I am with you, some chance mishap might occur. The gopis might reply, O greatest of expert cheaters, don't you remember that we already met with you in this way in Vraj many times? So why are you pretending with us in this way? Hearing this, Krishna would say, Nehasteyam stribhi. Ladies should not stay here in this remote forest, especially at night. Krishna then made an expression with his lotus face indicating that it would be a mortal sin for them to stay there. Go back to Vraj, because just associating with you here at this time will surely bring me bad luck. The gopis might counter, O you who are celebrated as a noble man, don't fear for your reputation. Who will find out if we stay here with you? To this, Krishna replied with this verse beginning with Matara. When your mothers, fathers, husbands, and other family members do not see you at home, they will definitely go out searching for you. It is sure and certain that they will come over here and find you with me. So don't put me in jeopardy with your family members. The rest of this verse can be understood in accord with what has been explained previously. Actually, the real reason Krishna said this was to arouse fear in the gopis so that he could lead them to an area more distant and secluded than where he had played the flute. There's another meaning in a prayerful mood. If you enter a very deep forest, there is no chance that your relatives could come here. No one will ever find you. The word he certainly here means eva, indeed. Your parents might wander here and there in this deep forest, but like blind persons, they would not be able to see you. So instead of worrying about them, just enter the dense, dark forest and enjoy yourselves freely without hesitation. This is the meaning. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's rtha Darshini. The gopis might suggest, it is true that we beautiful maidens have entered the forest at night. However, there is no possibility of any impropriety because we have come here huddled together in a tight group. Therefore, no one can accuse us of any indiscretion. To this, Sri Krishna would reply, this is true. Even so, your family members, not seeing you at home, must be searching for you by now, fearing that you might have encountered some mishap. It is not proper to put them in anxiety. Krishna spoke this verse matara with this intention. Your mothers, fathers, husbands, sons, and other relatives must be looking for you. Because mothers are full of affection, they are mentioned first. Next, fathers are mentioned because it is very difficult for ladies to go out searching in the forest at night on their own. Out of all the family members, the husbands are the closest and will worry more. So surely they will come to the forest. This is the explanation. Verse 6 of this chapter states, Pāyayantya shishun pāya. Some gopis were feeding milk to the babies. However, two or three month children would not be searching for those gopis. Verse 22 says, Kṛṣṇanti vatsa balascha. Return to your homes because the young children and calves are crying. Bhagavan used the word sons here in verse 20, but he did not mention their age, pretending not to know how old they were. Thus we can understand that he was joking with the gopis. The meaning can be taken in another way. Do not fear your family members, even if they come searching for you. They will not be able to see you in this deep forest. Therefore, you may freely engage in amorous play with me tonight. Just checking the comments. Haribo, Mitra Vrinda Didi, Mitra Vrinda Didi, and Ganga Mataji, and Rukmini Didi. Haribo, Dandavat Pranams. Drishtam vanam kusumitam rakesha kararanjitam yamuna nina lilai jat tarupallavashobhitam. Hey Vrajaramanis, O beautiful damsels of Vraj, you have already admired the beauty of the forest decorated with flowers and illuminated with the rays of the full moon. And you have also seen how the leaves on the trees are swaying in the gently blowing breeze, which has been cooled by touching the Yamuna's water. Śrīla Śrīdhara Swamipad's Bhavartha Dipika. Seeing the gopis displaying their gentle, loving anger by looking away from him, Sri Krishna said, haven't you already seen the forest? This forest is resplendent with many kinds of flowers and the rays of the full moon. The gently blowing breeze, cooled by touching the water of the Yamuna, tremendously increases the beauty of the forest by making the leaves on the trees tremble. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Vaishnav Toshani. Sri Krishna observed the behavior of the Vrajramanis as they looked towards the forest. Perceiving their loving anger, he spoke this verse, saying, "Have you come to see the beauty of Vrindavan forest, bedecked with so many kinds of flowers?" If this verse is joined with the next one, Tad yata ma chiram goshtam, then Sri Krishna continued, "You have observed the beauty of the forest, so immediately return to the cowherd village." Here, kusumitam and other adjectives describe the vision of Vrindavan. When the gopis turned their eyes away from Krishna in a mood of loving anger and looked at the beautiful forest, Sri Krishna said, "Drishtam vanam, you have seen the forest." After that, when the gopis looked up, Sri Krishna said, "Rakesha kararanjitam, the forest land is illuminated by the rays of the full moon. Have you come to see this superb night?" Then the gopis looked at the bank of the Yamuna, and Sri Krishna said, "Oh, I understand. You have come to see the beauty of the leaves on the trees dancing in the cool, gentle breeze that has touched the Yamuna." The rest of the explanation follows Śrīdhara Swamipad's commentary. The gopis stood their grounds to make their point. "Hey, Mahamohan, O great enchanter, we have disregarded our family members, completely ignoring their words. So who else is there to fear?" To this, Sri Krishna replied, "This may be so, but why did you need to come here at night? You could have come during the day." Then he closed his eyes, pretending to go into meditation, and said, "Ah, I understand. You have come to my Vrindavan to admire the beauty of the full moon night. Very good. Now you have accomplished your purpose." Then he gestured by pointing his finger and spoke this verse, Drishtam, meaning, "Now your darshan is complete, so return home." The actual meaning is this. In order to increase the gopis' feelings for him, Krishna directly pointed out all the elements contributing to the beauty of the forest. Humbly begging them to stay, he might say, "If you stay here, not only will you be relieved of fear of your family members, you will also enjoy the profusion of all the supreme delight provided by the forest." To stimulate the gopis' emotions, he pointed his finger at the beautiful forest and spoke this verse, Drishtam. "You have imbibed the beauty of the forest, enhanced with all these elements." If this verse is joined with the first line of the next verse, Tadyata ma chiram goshtam, then Sri Krishna repeats, "You have observed the beauty of the forest, so do not return to the cowherd village." This is the sequence. Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sarartha Darshini. After that, Vraj Devis looked about shyly. Seeing this, Sri Krishna spoke this verse, Drishtam. "Oh, now I understand. You have come to see the charm of the forest. Very well. Have you taken in its beauty decorated with lovely flowers?" When the Vrajadevis heard this, they looked upwards, and Sri Krishna said, "Rakesha kararanjitam. How beautiful this Vrindavan forest is, tinted with the rays of the full moon." Then the gopis looked toward the bank of the Yamuna. Observing this, Sri Krishna continued, "The breeze that has touched the Yamuna's water is wafting, making the leaves and flowering branches of the trees tremble. This is breathtakingly beautiful. You have seen the forest, and your cherished desire has thus been fulfilled. So at once return to Vraj. Do not tarry another minute." Now, for the meaning in a prayerful mood, this Vrindavan is the topmost of all places. Furthermore, it is resplendent with the rays of the full moon. On top of that, the breeze, now cool having touched the Yamuna's waters, is filled with the fragrance of the flowers and is spreading it in all directions. All these are stimuli, udipan vibhav, for tasting ras, and I am directly present as the object of love, the alambana vibhav. So today you will be put to the test for relishing ras. This is the essence. verse 22. Let me just check the comments again. Haribo Sudevi Didi, Dandavat Pranam. Tadyata machiram goshtam shushushadvang pating sati grandanti vatsabalascha tanpaya yataduhyata. O chaste ladies, do not delay here another second. Quickly return to Vraj and serve your husbands there. The calves and babies are crying in your homes. Go and feed them all. Go and feed all of them milk and milk the cows. Śrīla Swāmī Bhavarta Dipika says, Sati, O chaste ladies. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī's Vaishnav Toshani. Your cherished desire is fulfilled by having darshan of the beautiful forest. Do not wait here any longer. Return to the cowherd village. The cowherd village, the Gosha, is the place where the cowherd community resides and where the churning of yogurt and the mooing of the cows resounds loudly. Another meaning can be taken. The place where loud sounds indicate the activities being performed. Another meaning, okay, the place where loud sounds indicates the activities being performed there. In some books, it is read as Goshta, the residence of the cowherders. Sorry, one second. Return to your village. It is not proper for you to leave that village to roam around in the forest. All facility is available for you there, so it is logical for you to go back. This is the intention. Quickly go back to the village. Do not dally. This is the meaning of Ma Chiram. Why should we go back? To serve your husbands. Why? All of you are famous for your chastity. If you do not act as faithful wives, your reputation will be spoiled. I am not your husband, so it is not proper for you to stay here with me. It is not proper for you to stay here with me. This is the intention. The Gopīs might reply, you are the supreme object of service, but our husbands cannot tolerate our serving you. They are always jealous of you. That is why we have given up those inimical husbands and thrown our duty as loyal wives far away by sacrificing it at your lotus feet. Feeling that the Gopīs might reply in this way, Sri Kṛṣṇa spoke the second part of this verse to arouse their love for their family members. Krandanti vatsabalascha. The calves and children you look after are crying. Therefore, return home. Let the calves have their mother's milk, and milk the cows for the children. The babies and calves were actually very fond of the Gopīs who looked after them, and that is why Sri Kṛṣṇa mentions them. At this point, there is one principle to bring up. Actually, in truth, Sri Kṛṣṇa is the only husband of all of the Gopīs. The Gopal Tapani confirms to the Vraj Gopīs that Sri Kṛṣṇa will certainly be your husband. Brahma Samhita 556 declares, Shriya Kanta Kantaha Parama Purushaha. The Lakshmis are the beloved consorts, and Sri Govinda is their only lover. The Shrutis, Agamas, and other scriptures all arrive at the same conclusion, and so do the 10-syllable and other mantras. Srimad Bhagavatam states that the Gopīs are Sri Kṛṣṇa's consorts, Kṛṣṇa Vadva. Therefore, it is not possible for the Gopīs to be married to anyone other than Sri Kṛṣṇa, since he is their one and only lover. Admittedly, they are convinced that they are married to others, but this is only to increase their eagerness for Ras Lila. This book has been arranged by Yogamaya, whose powerful position is made clear in the first verse of this chapter. Yogamaya Upashrita. He took shelter of his internal Yogamaya. The cowherd men think that they are the Gopīs' husbands, but Yogamaya cheats them by creating duplicate Gopīs. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-9 says, Na suyan kalu Kṛṣṇaya. Yogamaya bewildered the Gopas, who thought that they were the Gopīs' husbands. Seeing that their wives were with them, they did not accuse Sri Kṛṣṇa of any wrongdoing. According to this conclusion, although the Gopas believed they were husbands, they never had intimate connection with the Gopis. Therefore, they had no children. The Gopis looked after their brother's children simply out of affection. These are the children mentioned in the verse. Sri Shukadev Goswami explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 1068.52. Explained there that it is customary to accept the brothers and other family members' children as one's own. Sa suta sa snusha prayat suhridbir abhinandita. While being praised by his well-wishers, Sri Baladev left Hastinapur with his son and daughter-in-law. Here, Sri Krishna's son, Samba, is being referred to as Sri Baladev's son. The gopis had no milk in their breasts and would feed cow's milk to these sons, who were the objects of their affection. And that is why it is said in this verse, arrange for the calves to get their milk, and milk the cows for the children. Sri Shukadev Goswami said, and we're in chapter 29, right? So he said in the 5th verse, Payayantya shishun paya. They were feeding milk to the children. Here he says children instead of sons or daughters. And he just says milk, not breast milk. If the children had taken birth from those gopis' wombs, then the heroines of the amorous mellow would have been contaminated, and that would have spoiled the ras dance. It is mentioned in verse 20, Matara Pitara Putra. Your mothers, fathers, sons, and other family members are searching for you. Sri Bhagavan clearly mentioned sons. This is understood to refer to any sons who are old enough to look for their mothers in the nighttime. Such mothers would be nearing old age. This appears to be the logic. If this were the case, the ras and the ras would be completely spoiled. In this regard, Sri Vaishampayan does not agree with this idea. He himself said, the omniscient Sri Krishna called together the young cowherd damsels and enjoyed amorous pastimes with them. The best of sages, Sri Shukadev Goswami has described the beauty of the gopis, alambana, as the stimulant of the amorous mellow. And he also does not accept the conclusion that some gopis had children. Bhagavan apita ratri. That's the first verse of this chapter. This verse says how nature presented wonderful stimuli on the first night of autumn, and these caused Sri Krishna to remember the beauty of the gopis, who are the very object of love, and thus he desired to engage in love play. That is why his mind turned toward romantic intrigue, rantum manas chakre. For this reason, this verse has been quoted. Sri Shukadev Goswami also described in Srimad Bhagavatam, he described in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-6, the stunning beauty of the gopis who are younger in age than Krishna. Yashodanandan Sri Krishna looks very brilliant, surrounded by the golden gopis, just like a pendant with a sapphire in the center, surrounded by golden gems. Srimad Bhagavatam, this same chapter, verse 43, relates, Sri Krishna looked charming in the circle of the gopis, just like the moon in the middle of the stars. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-7 also says, the gopis dancing with Sri Krishna's expansions looked very beautiful, like lightning flashes in the middle of a cloud bank. All these verses describe the gopis' beauty and confirm the fact that they were younger than Krishna. When Sri Bhagavan spoke about the gopis' sons, he was simply joking. He was not implying that they were at fault. Verse 17 of this chapter says, Vacha peshar vimohayan. He bewildered them with his playful speech. Verse 42 of this chapter says, Prahasya sa dayang gopir. He was laughing mercifully at the gopis. All these verses clearly show that he was joking, and that is why he said, your mothers, fathers, sons, and other family members are searching for you. This statement is fanciful and was spoken in jest. If Krishna were to condemn the gopis and accept them at the same time, there would be no ras. But when he jokingly directed attention to their faults, the rasa increased. Sri Krishna, the crown jewel of heroes, pointed out the gopis' flaws to them. But if the support of ecstasy, alambana, were actually marred with any type of blemish, having given birth to children, this would be a detriment to the hero and this would be a detriment to the hero in relishing ras. In poems describing high-class lovers, it is impossible that the hero will see any faults in his heroine. What to speak then of poetry of great Vaishnava poets who describe the Raslila, which is the in which Param Purushottam Shri Krishna descends to shower the nectar of this pastime. It is not possible that he'll see faults in his heroines, alambana. What more is there to be said about this? In the conclusion of the shower of ras in the Ras Lila, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-36 says, to show mercy to the devotees, Sri Krishna performs such activities that attract the hearts of all. When one hears these pastimes, one becomes inspired to cultivate bhakti. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:33-25 states, Sri Bhagavan enclosed inside himself all the gopis' gestures, indicating their budding amorous desire, and he enjoyed all those nights that displayed the autumnal beauty that the famous poems and narrations describe. Those gopis' husbands were the illusion created by Yogamaya, and their sons were not actually their own. Now Krishna spoke in a mood of humble request. Therefore, there is no need for you to fear your family members coming here. Everything here in this grove is conducive to romance, so do not go back to Vraj so quickly. Go a little bit later if you need to. You can go at the end of the night. If cha and is connected with ma, no, in the phrase ma chiram, and is used everywhere in this verse, then the meaning would be, do not serve your husbands, and do not observe the path of chaste wives. Otherwise, the happiness derived from your independence will be destroyed. Krishna spoke this as a joke. All these negative statements were meant to fortify the gopis' independent spirit. The calves and children will not cry, so there's no need for you to go to give them their milk, or to milk the cows for the children. Krishna spoke all these words to inspire the gopis' sense of freedom. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sārartha Darshini. Therefore, O chaste ladies, do not delay. Immediately return to your homes and accept your duty to serve your husbands as faithful wives. This was directed toward the married gopis. Then, for the unmarried girls, he said, your pet calves are crying. Pacify them by milking the cows. Addressing the Munichari gopis, he said, the children are crying. Feed them milk. Krishna's words can also be interpreted as a humble entreaty. You have seen the beauty of the forest, but do not go back to Vraj. Pass the whole night romancing with me. Do not serve your husbands. Do not play the role of virtuous wives, because you should not waste the beauty and sweetness of the youth that the Creator has bestowed upon you. Do not bother to milk the cows or feed milk to the children. Oh, my fervent beloveds, what is the need for you to do any of this? Okay, we're ending with this verse. Hare Krishna Shasharma Ji and Shukade Didi. And Sajan Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Atavamar abhisnehar bhavatyo yantrita shaya agata hyupapannam va priyante maijantava. But perhaps you have come over here because you are controlled by inordinate love for me. This would certainly be befitting, since all living entities naturally have affection for me. Śrīla Śrīdhara Samipad's Bhavartha Dipika. Sri Krishna is perhaps speaking this verse beginning with atava to send back those gopis who are looking very disturbed due to being angry. Yantritashaya. It is proper for you to come here, as your hearts have been subjugated by affection, just as all living entities are pleased to love me. Śrīla Jīva Gosvāmī Pad's Vaishnav Toshani. Meaning displaying indifference. After that, Krishna spoke this verse atava to indicate to those gopis whose restless eyes reflect their loving anger that they should go back home. In order to make the gopis even angrier, Krishna compared their love with the ordinary love of the other living beings. Atava can also be understood to imply another reason. Just before in verse 21, Krishna said, "You have seen the beautiful forest." Now he is giving another reason why they might have come here. Mad abhisnehat. If you have come here out of natural love for me, this is befitting because all beings nurture inborn love for me. Not only you, but everyone in Vraj possesses this sort of affection for me. But it may be possible that your love is much greater than theirs. Here the phrase abhisnehat has been used in a general way and does not imply the love between a man and woman. Rather, Krishna is purposely slighting the gopis. He says he, indeed, indicating that indeed all living entities love him. Therefore, you also love me, but you do not possess... Therefore, you also love me, but you do not possess that special intense amorous love, rati, for me. So what is so great about your love? Using the phrase mad abhisnehat, your love for me, he minimizes their love, implying that they possess the same type of love that is common to all others. That is why he addressed them with bhavatya, the formal form of you. The explanation of the rest of the verse follows Śrīla Śrīdhara Samipad's commentary. In an additional interpretation, the gopis might reply, "Alas, it is very sad that we have given up our parents, husbands, and sons. So why is it necessary to repeat their names?" In response, Sri Krishna praises them and presents an alternative explanation with the words atava, or else. The meaning is that Sri Krishna has glorified the love of the gopis very cleverly, and yet he has displayed his indifference at the same time. His conduct was harder than a thunderbolt, and it broke the gopis' hearts. Actually, Sri Krishna's apparent indifference was meant to increase the gopis' loving sentiments. There is no other reason. Meaning as a humble entreaty. Although you have come with another purpose, I request you to take some rest here. This is another understanding of atava. If you have come here out of affection for me, abhisnehat, this is befitting. Here, abhi denotes a very high stage of affection, sneha, indicating the mood of rati. The reason expressed here is this. All living entities have affection for me, and they are fully devoted to me. So what to speak of you, who nourish even greater sentiments for me? This is the meaning. Krishna has used the word bhavatya, the respectful form of you, to show that he is in love with them. So now you can freely dally with me. One second, I keep on getting these WhatsApp messages and just making sure it's not to do with this. Sorry, one second. Oh, Prajumna, why are you messaging me now? Okay, whatever. Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Thakur's Sarartha Darshini. Alas, up till now, I was thinking in vain about your purpose for coming here. But now I have understood the reason why you have come. The word mai for me is used in this verse with this purpose. You hold very deep affection for me in every respect, and being controlled by this affection, you have come to me. You have achieved your purpose by having my darshan. It is my true fortune that all the living entities naturally have inborn love for me. So you also love me in a general way like everyone else. Your love is not influenced by any amorous desire. This is the suggested meaning. And the mood of humble entreaty. So when we read it in the mood of a humble entreaty, it means, you have natural love for me with the sentiments of a beloved. So you can come to me under the control of that love. And your hearts have also forcibly pulled me to join you here. Thus your arrival is proper. It is not without good cause. All living entities love me in this way, but you are positively overflowing with the highest love for me. So what else is there to say? This is the meaning. So now tomorrow we will read. What time is it? It's 8:19. Okay. Tomorrow we'll read this. I'll just read a few verses so we can get a sneak preview. O noble ladies, a woman's topmost religious duty is to earnestly serve her husband and to serve her husband's parents and relatives, and to nourish the children and servants. Women who desire a good destination in this life and the next, women who desire a good destination in this life and the next should never reject a husband unless he is extremely sinful and fallen, and if he is wicked, unlucky, old, stupid, sickly, or impoverished. It is contemptible for respectable ladies from good families to commit adultery. Such sordid behavior prevents them from reaching heaven, ruins their reputation, brings misery. It is ghastly and condemnable in every respect. Ecstatic love for me arises in devotees' hearts when they hear about me, take darshan of my deity, meditate on my beauty, and continuously chant my names, which are endowed with my attributes. Being in my physical presence does not yield the same result, so you should return to back to your homes. Shri Shukadev Goswami said, hearing Govinda speak such unpleasant words, the gopis became extremely dejected and drowned in the abysmal ocean of despair. So we will read all this tomorrow. Now, we have how many minutes left? We have 9 minutes left. And today, well, let me just double check. Let me just double check. It's today, Srila Bhakti, yeah, let's go to today. Yeah, it says today is a disappearance of Srila Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. So let's see if there's any very short thing we can read about him. Just going to Viśvanātha. Or maybe what we could do is read some of his nectarian instructions. That's really nice. Let's see how long this is. It's probably really long. I think it's from the book. Yeah, it's very long. Okay, we could just read parts of this. Okay, so this is by Srila Bhakti Vigyamparati Goswami Maharaj. He spoke this. Oh, and it's an excerpt from My Beloved Masters. The Messengers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Vani. Once Guru Maharaj, then known as Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari, Shri Srimad Bhakti Swarup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj, then Shri Siddha Swarup Brahmachari, and Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj were invited to preach at a 3-day spiritual function in Sylhet, East Bengal, now Bangladesh. On the first day in his address, Sri Siddha Swarup Brahmachari made use of very straightforward but harsh and immoderate words while establishing the superiority of the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu over the popular Mayavad philosophies prevalent at that time. He referred to Vivekananda, whose name means one who takes bliss in having intelligence, as Vivekananda, or one who takes bliss in being ignorant, and to Ramakrishna Paramahansa as Ramahansa, or large but worthless swan. Upon hearing these epithets, many residents of Sylhet became irritated. That night, leaflets were published and distributed all over the town denouncing the Gaudiya Math and demanding the cancellation of the function. The event faced such great opposition that the next day, Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari met with the convener, the district judge, who expressed his concerns about the safety and advised us to cancel the remaining 2 days of the function, just to rule out the possibility of any undesirable incident. Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari assured the judge that the speaker who had used incendiary words the previous night, that he would most definitely not be speaking again, and that only he and Śrīla Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj would address the audience. The judge replied, "It is on your assurance alone that I will allow the function to continue. I will make all the necessary arrangements for providing increased security, but please be mindful of the content of your Hari Katha." The next evening, the venue is filled with antagonistic objectors. Sri Hayagriva Brahmachari was the first to address the crowd, and he began by praising the hospitality of the Sylhet people. After he finished his speech and his objective, he conceded the podium to Śrīla Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj. During his presentation, Śrīla Maharaj said, "Our Gurudev, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākura Prabhupada, has taught us that in our preaching, we are delivering the message of Swayam Bhagavan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Our only purpose in coming here is to deliver through fearless yet fair speech the Vani, the teachings that incessantly flow from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, as it has been presented by Śrīman Mahaprabhu and our line of Guru Varga, such as Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Jīva Goswami, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and others who make up our Bhagavat Parampara. We are not here to preach with the apprehension and shyness of a lady hiding her face behind a veil. What to speak of the philosophical doctrines of personalities like Sri Shankaracharya, Jaimini, Patanjali, Karnada, and so on. The ideology manifested by Swayam Bhagavan Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is unparalleled and vastly superior to the ideologies established by even the previous 4 Vaishnavacharyas, Sri Ramanuja, Srila Madhvacharya, Sri Nimbaditya, and Sri Vishnu Swami. Through his teachings, he has highlighted the shortcomings of such doctrines and has conclusively defeated all erroneously fabricated philosophies. Therefore, in our presentation of Śrīman Mahaprabhu's ideology, how is it possible that the ideologies of persons like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and Bhandarkar will not be contested? Moreover, we are simply messengers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our duty is merely to deliver his teachings. If anyone in this assembly has any objections, he may kindly address them to Śrīman Mahaprabhu, Srila Ved Vyas, or Srila Rupa Goswami. Although we have unflinching faith in their Vicharadhara, their line of ideology, we will undoubtedly surrender to any person who can present an ideology superior to that presented by Śrīman Mahaprabhu. But if such a person is not present in this world, what intelligent being would be unwilling to follow or feel uninspired by such a highly auspicious spiritual path as one described by Śrīman Mahaprabhu and his followers? Śrīmad Bhagavatam has clearly described Sri Krishna as Swayam Bhagavan. Ete Chanksa Kala Pungsam Krishnastu Bhavan Swayam. All these avatars are either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the Supreme Person. But Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Furthermore, Krishna himself has stated in the Bhagavad Gita that he is the ultimate object of surrender, in such verses as Sarvadhamma Paritaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Aham Sarva Papebhyo, Mokshaishami Ma Sucha. Completely abandoning all dharma, take shelter of me alone. I will free you from the reactions of your sins. Do not lament. And man mana bhavamad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishyasi satyam te prati jane priyosime. Offer your mind to me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer pranam to me. By this you shall attain me. I swear this truth to you because you are dear to me. And ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana parupashate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. It's Bhagavad Gita 9:22. For those who are devoid of other desires, who are always absorbed in contemplation of me, and who always worship me, I personally carry their necessities and preserve what they present. Therefore, what benefit is there in accepting the ideology of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who advocates the worship of devatas, demigods? Such worship is adverse to Srimad Bhagavatam, which has firmly established in Canto 4, Chapter 31, verse 14. Yatatoror mulanishchanena tripyanti tatskanda bhujopasaka pranopaharachayatendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achuteja. Just as pouring water on the root of a tree nourishes its trunk, branches, leaves, and sprigs, and as giving food to the stomach nourishes all the senses and bodily limbs, all the demigods are automatically worshipped when one worships Śrīdhara, Bhagavan. The philosophy of Vivekananda is Jive Prema Kore Jai Jan Se Jan Seviche Ishvar. One who has love for living entities actually serves the Supreme Lord. However, we see that his followers kill and eat animals, and we must therefore conclude that in this slogan, the word Jīva, as used by Vivekananda, refers only to human beings. But the true meaning of the word Jīva refers to all living entities. You should all deeply consider these points. There is no need for us to say anything further. You are all free to make complaints against any imperfections in our methods of delivery, but you must know for certain that the philosophy we have presented remains immaculately pure at all times, without the slightest trace of contamination. After Śrīla Goswami Maharaj concluded his speech, the audience responded with thunderous applause. Indeed, they were truly pleased, and they requested that the organizers extend the function for an additional 15 days. In this way, the preaching of Srimad Mahaprabhu's Vani in the city of Sylhet was a great success. As Sylhet was a city renowned for its good quality lime, the residents, in their appreciation, arranged for a wagon load to be used in the service of whitewashing the walls of Sri Chaitanya Mat, the temples at Yogapit, and other buildings in Sriman Mahaprabhu's Sridham Mayapur. Srila Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj was accustomed to speaking in a forthright manner that some may have found unpalatable, but he never presented anything other than Shrotavani, the teachings descending through the Bhagavat Parampara. This was appreciated by the authoritative personality Srila Śrīdhara Goswami Maharaj, his senior godbrother who defended the content of his junior godbrother's speech that day in Sylhet. So we just read the almost like 1/3, or no, almost, I don't know, we read a good amount of this article, but now it is 8:32, so I'm going to end here. But I will share the link to this so that you can read the rest of the article on your own here in the comments. All right. Yeah, his selected nectarian advice. Oh, sorry, I didn't read that. But okay, I'll just show you guys though. In the Rays of the Harmonist, which issue is it? Let me just find it. It's Rays of the Harmonist issue. Let's see, 2005? No, 2006. I think maybe 2006. Let me open this up. Yes, it's in this issue. So it's in Rays of the Harmonist, number 16, Kartik 2006. There is lots of wonderful nectar, this amazing article that he writes, reflecting on unique aspects of Srila Prabhupada's preaching and teachings. This article is just mind-blowing. And then there's this selected nectarian advice, which is from his, there's Upadeshamrita by Srila Bhakti Shri, and so many amazing quotes. A genuine disciple is just as rare as a genuine guru. All of these are so amazing. Anyways, I'm going to end here though. I just want to find one of them. The words of pure devotees are contrary to our sense gratification. No matter how pitiless and how harsh their words may seem, if we can sincerely submit to them with our body, mind, and words, our eternal welfare is assured. Mahabhagavat Vaishnavas are the eternal dear associates of Gaur Kṛṣṇa. If a jiva has not accumulated an unlimited amount of bhakti unmukhi sukriti, the darshan and shelter of such Vaishnavas does not come within the scope of his fortune. Oh, this one is such a good one. One cannot charm Sri Gurudev with a display of external emotions, gestures, and formalities. If one becomes a disciple without sincerely surrendering oneself at Sri Gurudev's lotus feet, it is like trying to cheat a blacksmith regarding iron, and one is bound to be cheated of his own welfare. Only at the time of Sri Gurudev's disappearance can one recognize the actual identity of his disciples. One can then understand who has approached Sri Guru with what intention. Those in the stage of sadhan who are not careful about obeying Sri Guru and avoiding offenses to Vaishnavas fall down, even though they may have reached an elevated level. Oh, this is a really nice one. If the disciple's heart is not clean, Sri Guru's heart does not reflect in it. Only out of immense fortune does the moon of bhakti that exists in the heart of Sri Gurudev, Mahabhagavat, manifest within the heart of the disciple. Anyways, these are all such... Oh, this is a really good one. Sorry, guys, I need to stop. Otherwise, I'm just going to read them all. If the sadhak's life lacks simplicity and caution, he will achieve the opposite of his cherished ideal. Anyhow, so you can read this. This is, as I mentioned. If you just go on Google, type in Raise of the Harmonist, Kartik 2006, it will come up. And then you can read this special edition. And there's also a little glorification of my Gurudev at the beginning. I should have read this. Anyhow, see you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radhe. Oh, can I share that link? Yeah, I mean, it'll be very easy for me to find. Look, just type in Raise of the Harmonist, Kartik 2006, and it will come up. And I can share the link. There. See, here it is. Okay, it's a link. Here you go. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Viranta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Guru Dev Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Viranta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupar Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Viranta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam, sorry, I spaced out. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatara Shatashmar Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishtam Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadash Raghunath Shadu Sai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Srila Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Bhadata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kund ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashvatara Shata Shishmar Srila Bhakti Shri Rup Sadanti Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Vivek Bharati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Svāparshad Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Rāsa-pañcādhyāyī ki jai. Sarvavaja Devi Gan ki jai. Shri Raseshwari Shri Viśvanānandini Srimati Radha Ṭhākurani ki jai. Shri Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashachar Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you for letting me go over time. Haribo, Rukmini Didi, and Indira Mataji. Everybody, Dandavat pranams. See you tomorrow.